Hey Untold Radio Network fans, want exclusive perks and to support our channel? Introducing our YouTube membership program with 3 amazing levels. Get loyalty badges that level up to different cryptids the longer you're a supporter. How cool is that? You'll also get access to custom Bigfoot emojis and priority in chat. Upgrade to Backstage Pass for exclusive wallpapers, photos, status updates, discounted books, and merchandise. Go all in with the producer level for everything mentioned plus member shoutouts. Ready for an enhanced experience? Join now, pick your membership level, and let's make this journey even more exciting together.
Hesitation coming around again. Termination, all that we might have been. In a world of unbelievers, there is no way of getting across.
Welcome to the Discover Sasquatch podcast on the Untold Radio Network. Now join host and cryptid investigator Chris Reinhardt as he delves into the mysterious world of the cryptid phenomenon. From eyewitness accounts to scientific theories, we will explore the evidence and uncover the truth behind some of the most enduring legends together. Please subscribe, share the show, leave a nice comment, and give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, X, and remember this show is downloadable everywhere that great podcasts are found. And now your host of the Discover Sasquatch podcast, Chris Reinhardt.
Disclaimer, content is for entertainment only. Listener discretion and responsibility apply. The network is not liable for listener actions or consequences.
Hello, 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 my friends in Sasquatch land. Thursday night at the Untold Radio Network, and Discover Sasquatch is back at the helm. I'm in the chair. I'm taking the lead. I'm in the boss. Hello, one and all. We got a great show for you tonight. As you all read and seen in the advertising all over thing, we have the Sisters of the Moon with us tonight, and I'm looking very forward to them. Debbie and Barbara are backstage right now. Sandy is going to try and join us a little bit later, but she'll be here in spirit. She had to get to work and work late. You know, everybody's got life and life first. So we hope that she makes it, and we can hear from her also later in the show. So glad to see everybody can make it. Miss Francesca E. is here with us tonight. Hello, Phyllis. Hello, Diane Fowler. Blue-Eyed Northern, of course, and Boots on the Ground are with us. If you're nasty in the chat, they will give you the boot. They are our chief moderators here tonight. Let's see who else is with us. Mr. John Lamb. Hello, good evening, John. Everybody's starting to pour in. Richard Jr., good evening. Everybody's starting to pour in here. We're going to have a great show. Before I get started, I got a couple notes here that I want to get through really quick, and then we'll bring the girls out. I had to write them down. So next week is Thanksgiving week. I'm hopefully going to be able to tape a show so you guys can watch something on Turkey night. I'm not guarantee it, but we're going to try and tape a show. Then I am off the next week because I'm on call for work. And then Mr. David Blaylock will join us in 3 weeks. He's our next guest. Then a Mr. Robert Maxwell. He's new to the Bigfoot scene. He just had some interactions up at the island in Canada. And I'm looking forward to having him on the show and talk about his experience. And then at the first of the year, this is very important. Remember this show. I have a tribute show to Miss Bobby Short. I have the lady that helped write her book, and she is going to be our guest, the author, Molly. She will be with us on the New Year's Eve show, and then the big announcement of when the book will be available for you all to purchase. It's going to be a 3-part book. Actually, Hainer One Publishing is taking the helm on it, and that's going to be one for all to see. So take a look at that. So that's about all I got. When you guys all know, my computer died here, and I had some major stuff go on, but I'm back online, and I've lost a lot of files, but you know, life goes on, and files aren't everything. So thank you all for coming out to see the ladies today. Mr. Patrick Nobel's here. Sharon, hello. Everybody's pouring in. So without further ado, let's bring out Debbie and Barbara from the Sisters of the Moon.
Thank you.
That's a little country bumpkin bar intro clapping and all that. That's funny.
Yeah, I like
I
it.
loved it.
Yeah,
Hello, ladies. How are you tonight?
We're
yeah.
good.
Here, I'm gonna move Debbie up where I am if that still works. No, what happened? Where did you go? I don't know.
It's
how to do
cold
that.
here. Is it cold there, Barbara?
Well, not yet. It was like 33 this morning.
Yeah, it was cold today,
Yeah.
Okay.
but it was warm yesterday though.
Well, that's Texas. We can have all 4 seasons in one day.
So how have you ladies been? Everything been good at home and on the road and all over the place? Things are going well?
Been busy, family, working, following my husband around.
How's the married life, Debbie?
It's good. I
Good,
mean,
good.
you know, when you're with somebody for 7 years before you get married,
Right,
you
but
kind of
you
know what
know.
to expect.
Right. Well, that's a good thing. He's a great guy, and I'm glad you guys found each other. And
He is. He's easy to be around and live with. So all's
Nice.
good on the home front.
Good. All right, so we're going to start it off. I got some questions for you, and the first question I'm going to ask you guys is, just to give everybody just a short little intro about yourselves and how you first became interested in Sasquatch research.
Go, Barbara.
Oh, well, I've just been interested in the idea of Sasquatch since I was young, just turning a teenager. And then over the period of my life, things would happen that I'd see Bigfoot and I'd get interested and check up on it. And then I moved into a house that Bigfoot was coming up to, and I really had to get involved in. And that's when, well, Sandy is my baby sister. Most everybody knows that. And Debbie is like our sister, but I met her in 2016, and we got together and started going out there looking for that rascal.
And we
How about you?
meshed. We meshed pretty good.
Yeah, we do.
How about you, Debbie? How did you get interested in the Sasquatch research?
Well, I lived in Northeast Texas when I was a kid, and we had never heard the term Bigfoot before, but we knew what the felt monster that it supposedly existed. Of course, we didn't know it was a Bigfoot. We had never heard the term Bigfoot, but we had something on our property there in Malta, and my daddy was a Vietnam vet and a World War II and a Korean vet, and when I saw him get a little shaken when we were hanging Christmas lights one night, and we kept hearing this growl, moan sound getting closer to us, I could tell he was scared, and that scared me. But then, he got his gun, went around the house, couldn't find anything, and we'd have strange things happen on our property, and so we knew something was there. We just didn't know what. And we thought about the felt monster, of course, but we thought, well, that's 30 miles away. It's not going to come down here where we're at. But then after we started, years later, after I became an adult, and we had a computer and seeing stuff on the computer about Bigfoot, started reading about it, and I was like, holy crap, I wonder if that's what we had on our property. And then I ended up meeting Barbara and Sandy once I got into the Bigfoot community on Facebook, and we decided we'd start, checking things out, and that's how we got going. We all had Bigfoot stuff happening.
We had Bigfoot on the brain before we got started.
Yeah.
So did you guys think you had something when the three of you decided that you were going to be an all-women's group going out into the field? Did you think that was going to change a little bit, than the regular scene that everybody was, used to out in the field? It was all male-dominated field, and then you three ladies decide to team up and start heading out there. Did you think you guys were going to shake things up the way you have?
I didn't have a clue that people were going to be interested in us girls out in the woods. We didn't think it was anything extraordinary. We just we wanted to find out some answers on our own, and we knew the only way to do it was to get in the woods. So we did.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't do it for any other reason other than to satisfy our own curiosity.
Yes,
We
yes.
never dreamed about being on a podcast like yours or even, talking about it. This was just our little thing. We wanted to go out and find out what we could find. We found a lot.
We
Yeah,
have been successful.
yeah, you guys have done pretty well for you. So, saying that, what do you guys believe is the strongest evidence that anybody's ever captured for the existence of Sasquatch? The strongest piece of evidence that we have to date that proves the existence.
Well, I would say the Patterson-Gimlin film.
I have to agree with that. That satisfies my mind.
Yeah, I mean it's withstood the test of time,
Yes.
and 60 years basically, and I can't think of any better really.
Yeah, no, I'll have to agree with you on that. There isn't anything better. Nobody's even caught anything close to that over the years since then either.
Right.
So
And I mean, they've tried to debunk it for years and years and years, and it's just kind of infallible as far as I'm concerned.
So, what do you guys think is the most compelling piece of evidence that you have collected over the years?
Well, that we collected physically.
Physically
Or just
experienced,
in our memory.
whatever you believe is the most compelling piece of evidence that you either heard, you captured, any of it. What do you think?
It would be the gibberish that was captured at Tribulation Bay.
I would have to agree. I mean, we didn't see it while it was doing it, but everything leading up to that moment was things that were Bigfoot related, and the calls and the sounds that we had heard prior to that. And then once we, went into the tent, the things that started happening when we were in the tent that are well known, supposed Bigfoot things that they do, and and we didn't see one, so we can't say 100%, what happened, but everything leading up to it was Bigfoot related from experiences. So we can only assume that that's what the gibberish is.
What did y'all use? How'd you set the scene to capture that night? Were you planning on capturing something like that, or was it just a regular routine what you guys do every time?
It was just, you want to put out the recorders as soon as you think you can, and that's what I was doing. I hung those, Well, actually, the night the gibberish was caught, we had so much stuff happen as we had started setting up the tent, and then while it was going on, that I didn't go out up on, I usually put the recorders kind of away from the tent and then usually put one up closer to the tent. But this was really early on in our, after we had become a group. And so everything started happening while we were sitting out. And so when it was time, we were like, okay, let's go in the tent. I just set a recorder on each side of the tent down in the grass. And it was just, we were just playing it by ear.
Yeah, we were still brand new. We'd only been going out in the field like 9 months together.
Yeah.
Very few times. We were still getting into putting our recorders out.
Yeah.
How important do you think the recorders are compared to any other piece of equipment you can bring with you? What would you 1 to 10 on the scale of 1 to 10? What would you rate the recorder?
10.
Yeah, I would too.
I think it's priceless.
It can be.
So there's a theory that these guys can see the cameras and they can see the lights and they can do that. Why do you think that the recorders doesn't bother them? Why? Because recorders have lights. They give out radio frequency. I'm sure you could sense it. You can pick it up, vibrations. You could all that. They see you put it out. What's the difference?
I can't answer that question because I know we've always used recorders and we pick up stuff. And our last trip to Georgia, we tried using some little camera things and it didn't work.
Yeah. I don't know if it is related to the lights on the game cameras and the infrared cameras, plot watchers, stuff like that. I don't know. I don't think we'll really ever know, probably, unless one is captured and they can be, have tests done on them and things like that. But as far as the recorders, I know some of them make a noise sometimes. I don't know what kind of hearing Bigfoot has, if they have supersonic hearing or what, but it doesn't make the sounds like some things do, the electronic sounds and everything. At least I've never heard them, but as far as animals go, they hear different frequencies, than we can. So who knows?
Right.
As far as the game cameras, I don't even know if it's the lights. None of us know that for sure. And it's just speculation on everybody's behalf because we don't have a Bigfoot that we can test it on to see exactly, what their reaction
That would be
is.
lovely.
Yeah.
Stand here while I take a picture.
But we've been very lucky with the recorders, and some of the stuff that we've captured has been unbelievable, even to us. I mean, we never, ever dreamed that gibberish would be captured. We didn't even know that they even had anything that sounded anything like a language at that time. All we knew about were the whoops and the howls, the calls and stuff. So when we were in the tent and we actually heard the gibberish with our ears, I was like, holy crap. Of course, that's not what I said, but but I was like, oh my gosh. And I got really excited because I knew I had those recorders out there. But what was also crazy is the second night, what we recorded the second night after Barbara had gotten there and everything. And when I had heard it, I was hanging out the recorders that second night and putting them not up by our tent, but out further in the woods in the direction that I thought we had heard the gibberish come from. And so as I was putting them up in two different trees, I had already hung one to the left of me and then had walked further over to the right and was going to hang one in another tree. And while I was over there at that tree, Barbara had been out there in the woods, but she had gone back down it's kind of a slight slope to where our tent and everything was set up. And I just didn't know where she was at though. And I heard what sounded like a cough. And to me, it sounded like a 2-syllable cough, like, and then I heard it again and I was just hanging that second recorder and I said, there's Miss Barbara. And you can hear me on the recorder. And I look over in the direction that I heard it from, which was over by that first recorder. And that's where I thought she had been at. And she wasn't there. And so I said, Barbara? And I'm looking around and I turn around and I look towards the tent, down there, and I holler again, Barbara? And she steps out from the back of the tent and says, what? Now I'm kind of like, what the heck? I go, did you cough? Because she had been coughing earlier and, earlier in the day after she had gotten there. And she goes, no. And then I said, did anybody cough? Because 2 of the other girls were there. And they said, no. And I remember it so well because then I thought, holy crap. And I go, okay, wait a minute. And I start hightailing it down the hill to where they're at to tell them what I had just heard. But when we listened to the audio, that 2-syllable cough that says, hey, Debbie. And and it's very breathy. And the Debbie is broken into 2 syllables. And and it's louder than the hey part. And it's very breathy and whispery. And I think I heard those 2 syllables of my name. It just didn't sound like that to me when I heard it. But it's still makes me feel weird thinking about it, you know?
Yeah. When she
It's
told me, it
exciting.
made my hair stand up.
I know. I know.
Did you ever think that they would show you signs of intelligence like that? Do you think they would ever be able to say your name or
No, I
do any of the
didn't.
things that you've encountered over the years? When you first started, did you ever think in a million years to this date that they would have changed your mind this much?
No.
No. I thought they were just waiting in the woods behind the tree to grab me. You know, I didn't have any idea they had a game plan way better than mine going on.
Now you had a lot of crazy stuff going at your farm. You had gifting going on and all
Oh,
that
I
with the
did.
rabbits and all that stuff. That's just amazing to me. I'm a gifting guy. I love the gifting. I gifted for 6 years.
Well, see, I didn't leave things for them, but they
Right, yeah,
brought me plenty.
right, yeah. I got a whole coyote leg left at my door.
Oh man, no,
A
I had the
whole
deer
leg,
leg. Yeah, deer leg on my roof.
and the rabbits and
uh,
crazy stuff. But
it is. My mind got changed a lot in the last 10 years. I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
so
I
to
love
what
Barbara's stuff that she's had happen.
yeah, the rabbits and all that. And you want to give everybody what's your most favorite thing they ever left you? We'll go. How about that? We'll just ask the one because you had so much go on.
My favorite thing they left me. Gosh, they just. Well, I guess it's not really a one thing, but the glyphs they used to make me. That was always my favorite. When I would go out and set the sticks out and then get up the next morning and they've just arranged them how they want to. Or they might get real rambunctious and make one all the way around a tree. I mean, it was amazing. But I had a horseshoe that they brought me, a cow skull. I hung it up on the outside of my house. Both of them, actually.
I think that flower that artificial flower that was wrapped around
Oh
your
man,
gate.
that thing. Yes, it was an artificial flower taken out of a spray from a grave, and it was woven around. Had like cow panels on the barn gates, and it took this sprig and it wove it just like something I'd never seen, like a machine had done it. It was so intricate. It was real nice. That was amazing. Because I took it off messing with it and could never put it back.
Has it ever happened since you moved from there? Have they followed you ever? Have you ever noticed anything like you travel? We know you travel a little bit, so do they follow?
Well, I hear them over here. I'm on Caddo Lake in Texas now. So I hear them over here. And then last winter, I did have some suspicious looking sticks out here close to where I'm at.
And Caddo Lake is very well known for having Bigfoot activity.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Debbie, I'm going to try and move you up into my spot. I'm going to see if I can do it. There we go. That's better. Have you ladies up there instead of me up there. You're the stars of the show, not me.
But we were talking about recorders a while ago. Now, we've had some recorders do some weird stuff when we have two recorders out recording the same night, and mine would capture stuff Debbie's would not pick up, and hers was closer.
Yeah.
And that's common. That's reported all the time. Like me and, BF Bud, Bud, we were down in Florida. I caught this weird hum thing that we were doing all these experiments and we caught this hum. I had a recorder and Bud's recorder was 10 feet away from mine. His recorder didn't pick it up, but mine picked it up. We've had it analyzed. We've sent it out to if you guys know who Mark Dan Antonio is, he's a very, very brilliant man. He's involved with MUFON. He's building those the telescopes for MUFON. Very, very smart guy. He has yet to been able to classify this sound yet. He cannot find a match for it. But I caught it on our recorder, and then Bud's recorder didn't pick it up. So it's common. And why do you guys think that is? Why can they? Do you think they can project where they want to project? And
I just don't know, because I think they've got all kinds of abilities that just never popped in our head that they could do. Because in general, people just think of them as a creature that's living in the woods. They don't think about them having any kind of intelligence.
But they have definite intelligence.
Oh, yes.
And they have a language, and they do have some kind of abilities. I don't know what kind, but there has been stuff happen that we can't explain. And I never went into this thinking that they were anything like what we've experienced. I just assumed, that they were flesh and blood. But now I'm not so sure. And I mean, I've fought that for a long time. I think they're flesh and blood, but I think there's maybe a little bit more. Just like some humans have the ability to read minds or whatever, move objects with their brain. I think they've got some sort of abilities.
right.
And I mean, at least I want them to be flesh and blood. I don't want them to be aliens from outer space or, anything like that. And I don't think honestly, I can't say that we've ever felt really threatened. I mean, when they're throwing stuff at us, I think they're just trying to scare us off. At least that's how I interpret it.
Yeah.
I think if they wanted to really scare us off, they'd have no problem doing that,
Right.
But they're going about it like in baby steps, so to speak. Like, let's scare them, but let's not scare the hell out of them. We don't want them to die, have a heart attack. They just try to do things to make us want to leave, because I'm so sure that it's happened for other people that aren't aware of what they are or what's doing this, and they probably do get scared and leave. But that's what we're there for. So we get excited and we stay, and then they kind of amp it up a little bit, and but we've never really ever felt threatened. And that may just because we're stupid. I don't know.
Well, we're prepared when we go in the woods for stuff to happen. It's not going to be a surprise for us.
Right. We're hoping.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I still get the willies though. The night to me just gives me the willies because you can't see. You don't know you really don't know what they're going to do. You can assume that they're not going to hurt you. You can assume that the rock throws mean a certain thing. You can assume all of it. But in the end, you really don't know what they do and
That's
what they're
right.
capable of. And I just
when Barbara hollers at them, I'm worried she's going to piss one off.
Yeah.
She hollers, "Get the hell out of here!" Sometimes.
I think he came back on us the other night and said, "I remember that lady." She yelled at me.
I'm like, "Don't piss off the Bigfoot, Barbara."
Yeah. Oh, it's funny.
Well, you guys are definitely they're not afraid to try new things and put your neck out there for research. I mean, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get answers, no matter what you're out there doing. Twinkle lights, whatever. That's still trying to get answers. Does that work? It doesn't, and it does work, and it has worked. And you've put them out in the forest, and they played with them, and they've watched them. I mean, if you guys don't know these ladies, there's so much they've done over the years, and you really need to go back and look at old interviews. Go to Carrie Arnold's channel and look at the documentary he did. And they've been everywhere, and they've done a lot of stuff and a lot of good stuff. So
thank you.
And they're always out there trying, and that's what I love. Boots on the ground, and you guys are not afraid to put your necks out. So I applaud that for sure.
Well,
Where do you think the future of Sasquatch research is heading? Where do you think that we have to do to move forward looking for the Sasquatch?
Well, unfortunately, I think the only thing that's going to satisfy the mind of most people is a body. I think that's going to be the proof that it takes, that they're going to pop up and say, "Oh yeah, he is real." But
I
I
don't
don't
care
want to be
if
the one to catch one.
and I don't care if they're never scientifically proven to exist, or I don't know if scientifically is even the word, because I do believe the government most likely has a body, knows they exist. I mean, how can they not? Honestly, we've had a forest ranger in Texas tell us as a small group that while he was in Pennsylvania, where he's from, that they had encounters, they had sightings, and he knows for a fact that they exist, but the company that he works for has told them not to ever admit that they exist. And this is a forest ranger. So, they know. They have to know. But
Why do
it
you
is
think they
what it
hide
is.
it? Why is it hidden? Why? Why is it hidden?
Well, there's so many. I think there's multiple reasons. I mean, it would affect, if they were ever proven to exist, they would definitely be an endangered species. That's hard to say. Species. And I mean, look at my gosh, in Kisatchie National Forest, I forget the name of the woodpecker, but there's a woodpecker that is very rare. And it's been sighted in a certain area in Kisatchie. And so it's been, deemed, what's the word that they use? Barbara, do you remember?
Endangered.
Danger.
Endangered. There you go. And so the wood, they're not allowed to cut the trees in that specific area of Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana. So just imagine, this is this little bitty woodpecker. So you've got these great big family units of Bigfoot that are all over the United States. That would affect the timber industry.
Yeah, walking across the timber cut
Yeah.
in the daylight in October, and
Yeah.
yeah, imagine that.
Yeah. And so I have no doubt. I don't know for a fact, but I would be just shocked if somehow they prove that they don't know they exist, because there's just no way that they could not know that they exist.
Right. I'm leaning more towards that they're not here all the time. That's where I'm leaning. I mean, the Native Americans have talked about it for hundreds of years, how they're spirit brothers and they come from the other side in the veil, and just the evidence that's popping up now. That's just me personally. I am not the Bigfoot guru. I am not, it's just my opinion.
And that's another thing we've matured with, is accepting what other people think they are, because we were just flesh and blood. They live in the woods. No, they can't cloak. No, they can't read your mind. They just live in the woods. But we've changed. We've embraced what other people are learning.
Yep,
and that's
you
how
have
you
to.
learn too. Yeah.
And when we've experienced things that we can't wrap our mind around, can't explain, or even really understand, you have to say, okay, there is something more. We just don't know what that more is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I applaud you for that, because that's what it takes. You got to work together to get answers. If you don't,
Yes.
you'll never get the answers. If you want to be holler at each other and put each other down, then they'll never go anywhere.
There
And
are
unfortunately, there's
no Bigfoot experts.
no.
No Bigfoot experts.
No, that's 100%. So, where is you must have a favorite area that you guys love going to, and I know the name of it. If I get it right, but you were telling me pre-show that you hadn't been there in 6 years, and you finally made it back there this year. You want to tell everybody a little bit about that trip, and then the ladies want to take some questions from the audience. So, after they answer this question, I'm going to open up the questions for the audience. Please, all in cap letters, because I can't see too well with my eyes. And we'll get your questions to the ladies. So yeah, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about your area that you enjoyed going to, and finally made it back after a little brief?
I think wasn't it more like 4 years, Barbara?
It was January 2019. No, wait a minute. November 2019.
That was the last time we were there?
I think so.
Good grief. So that's
So that's been
almost
5
6
years.
years then.
Yeah, it's coming on
Yeah.
it.
It's crazy that it's been that long.
It is, but we've been busy
Other
bouncing
places.
around everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's our Tribulation Bay location that we were talking about where we recorded the gibberish. And I had told Chris a little bit earlier today about what happened when we went back out there. You want to talk about it, Barbara?
Well, just on a whim, we had gone up into Mena, Arkansas for a gathering out there, and we just had an extra day, and we decided, well, let's drop by Tribulation Bay, check it out. And we're sitting around the little bit of fire we had, and just sitting there, hadn't been there in a long time, and we start seeing thunder, and there's a storm coming up. And we're just talking about random stuff. And I think one of us had mentioned something about wood knocks. And it probably wasn't, it was just in a few minutes that we heard 4 of them. Just bam, 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 probably 150 feet from us.
But I want to interject here for a second. What
ahead.
really blew me away with that is, like, if you're where we were sitting at Tribulation Bay, it goes up a hill, like, say, to our left. And that's always where everything used to start. That's where the wood line is. And then the woods come around, but on the backside, there's water. There's a drop off that goes down to the water. There's some trees along that edge, but there's nothing down there except big rocks and beach, kind of like. It's not beach, but you know what I mean, because it goes into the water. Well, where we heard those boom, 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 boom wood knocks came from the water. And I was shocked. I looked over there. I think I was on that end, so I was really shocked. And I looked back and I was like, holy crap. And we all started grinning. We knew there wasn't anybody down there. We'd already, walked around, and you can only access, that side over there by boat. If you come up, you have to come through the water. But then it would be like every 15 minutes, it moved down. It was right parallel with us where we were sitting when those wood knocks started. But then it moved back a little ways that way, and then it would do something else. And then I'll quit talking and you can finish, Barbara.
I don't know, but you're so much better at telling the story.
Well, so we kept talking. Now we're excited because we heard this. Because we were even wondering, it's been so many years. Are they even still here? We think back when we used to have the activity there several years ago, we think that they were juveniles probably, back then. And I know at one point there were at least 2 that would mess with us in camp because we'd have stuff happening on different sides of our tent. But this particular night, we don't know exactly how many it was, but we just think it was 1. But so it did those wood knocks, and then it moved down a little further, inching its way kind of back behind us. And we'd hear all different. Every single time it was something different, a different sound. It'd be like rock clacks together. And then another time, gosh,
It was like a humming sound.
Yeah. Anyway,
Whoa, the humming sound. Whoa. Did it sound like a hummingbird?
Not to me. It sounded like a.
Well, yeah, that's like the hummingbird wings.
Like the wings. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I thought you meant like with their beaks.
We need to talk after the show about that. That's okay. Something we got to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, and it was loud. It was loud enough for us to hear while it was several feet behind us. but it worked its way.
Straight up.
And isn't it exciting when you get confirmation?
It's exciting when everybody starts, you're just telling your story. I had no idea. And then all of a sudden we heard this hum and I'm like, you heard the hum. All right, cool. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
Well, it's strange because we couldn't figure it out. We keep going, what is that? What is that?
Yeah. But it slowly, over the course of at least an hour, worked its way around, and however many feet after, it'd wait 15 minutes or so in between, at least, sometimes probably 20. I don't know. We weren't, timing it, but there was a distance between them. But I mean, as soon as we heard those first wood knocks, we were like, oh yeah. Because we weren't sure that they were still there or not. So that was music to our ears. But it worked its way all the way around our camp, doing something different every time up until it got parallel to us on the other side, which was in the wood line, in the place where they used to always start. And we just heard this deep, loud growl. And we were like, okay, it's right beside us now. Because, it really, honestly, was very close to us.
Well, let me tell you one thing about this trip. We had absolutely no equipment. We didn't take anything with us.
Nothing. Except we did have twinkle lights.
I went to the store and bought those.
Yeah.
So we put twinkle lights up around our tent.
Yeah.
And we decided, well, let's go inside. It was starting to sprinkle and thunder. Let's go inside. Well, we hadn't hardly been inside 5 minutes, and it started pouring down rain. Big storm. We can hear something going around us. There was lots of lights around the back of us and the sides, but down at the end where the door was dark, and that's the way I was facing. Well, after it had been raining maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and we'd been hearing stuff move around the tent, right by my head, I hear a that got mine and Debbie's attention. So I turn around on my bed so I can face the lighted end of the tent, because I'm going, okay, he's going to come by the tent. I'm going to see him. Wouldn't come up there between the tent and the lights.
And we could hear his feet.
Yeah,
we could hear him walking. And he sounded like he was right beside the tent, but he never went between the tent and the lights. He went around the backside of those lights.
Yeah. But I did while I was laying there, and I see this leaf just plop on the tent. And then then it turns just right, and I see that twig, and I just follow it all the way down the backside of that tent. And I was excited then. I knew he was there. I knew one of them was back. And he knew I genuinely think he remembered us. He knew who we were.
Did they do anything to make it seem familiar to that you would be able to tell it was them, that was the ones that were there before?
Because I think they know that we saw them that time before when they did go between the light and the tent. And I think they learned from that mistake.
I think maybe they recognized our voices.
Yeah, they were and then I'm sure we have a scent. Animals don't.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure we had a scent then, because we had not showered in 3 days.
And it had been like 100 degrees. It was hot.
Those days are not pleasant.
But I think they probably did, or this one at least. This was not a young sounding juvenile again, because before we could hear, years ago when we were there, we could hear them running around outside, while they were messing with us. We've got that recorded even, where you can hear their feet just, patter, patter, patter and running. But this time it was very sure of what it was doing, very cautious. It would take a step slowly, take another step, and it wasn't being just real haphazard or anything. So we think it was either an adult or one that had grown up, and was bigger now. But
You all get very excited when they're around, and when I get the same way when we used to have the interactions at the gifting area. When you knew they were there, you get very exciting. You get how am I going to word this? So you give they're there, you know, they're their excitement, but then in the back of your head, you still want to collect that evidence. You still want to get that the scientific proof. How do you guys switch that on and off? How do you go from the excitement to, hey, we got to do this, or does it happen? Because to me, it doesn't happen because I forget to take my phone out. I'll forget to take everything out, and that's just how it is. Do you guys have that same issue, or can you guys switch off that excitement and go into collection mode?
it depends, I think,
Yeah.
on the amount of the excitement and the type of the excitement and what has happened. You know,
Well, that night, all I could think about was, why didn't I bring any equipment? Why did I leave it all at home?
yeah. Yeah, because we had not planned when we went to Arkansas to this little get together. We had not planned on any type of like Bigfooting. It was all just Bigfooters gathering together, talking and sharing stuff, and it's at this lady's. She's got tons of acres, but she's also got tons of cows that walk around. And we camped out in the woods, tried to be away from people, but there was cows around us all the time. Even coming back there, we got by a stream and all that, and both nights that cow, we get excited, we'd hear something walking, and I'd look out and it's this big old cow. I'm like,
Yeah, he's coming for us.
and so we didn't, we weren't expecting to really have any Bigfoot activity there, but we also had not planned on going to Tribulation Bay. We also went to the killing field just during the day.
Yeah.
Where we had found all the bones and everything years ago.
Yeah.
We stopped by there on our way to Tribulation Bay. But we just never dreamed in our wildest dreams that this was going to happen again at Tribulation Bay. We had hoped, but it had been so long since we had been there. We didn't know if the woods had been cut down, if it had been flooded out, what, we didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, there was quite a long time it was so flooded we could not go in there. I tried several times riding up there to see if we could get in, and it was just impassable. You couldn't get down there to the spot at all.
Yeah. But I mean, it was freaking awesome to go back, not expecting anything, and then to have all of that happen. I felt like a kid on Christmas morning. I think I was grinning from ear to ear constantly.
It was great. I missed it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's a great feeling when they're around. That's for sure. It's excitement.
It is.
You guys got any questions for the ladies? All in capital letters. They're all over the place over here. I'm trying to keep up with all of them. They're all. You guys mention something and they go off to their talking about it. So what's coming up? What's coming up this coming year? What do you guys got any plans coming up, or you guys got you got camp out scheduled, or are you just winging it?
We're kind of winging it, but I'm thinking Sandy doesn't always get to come, but I think me and Debbie need to at least team up and go back to Tribulation Bay about January.
Yeah.
When hunting season. So we really don't like to get in the woods with the hunters because we don't want to get hurt from somebody shooting us.
Right.
Yeah,
We'd be excited about that, but no, we don't know hunters shooting us.
I'm going to Oregon on December 5th.
Woo.
Yeah, I didn't tell you, Barbara.
No.
I hadn't mentioned it. My brother and sister live in Oregon, and so I was really lucky to have them up there in Oregon, and so I'm going December 5th and staying until the 16th. And
Nice.
So my brother was like, I'm going to rent us a house at the beach. And I was like, no, let's just take a tent to the woods.
Yeah. What's wrong with him?
He's actually going Bigfooting with me. We had Mount Hood as our view. Trees came up, and then the peak of Mount Hood came up, and we had activity out there, which I was kind of surprised, but I'm glad they got to experience it. And I'd like to go back there.
Yeah, I've never been out to the Pacific Northwest. Next year, I'm hoping to get to the Owl Moon Lab area with Toby and Daryl.
Where's that?
I'm not sure whereabouts where it is, but you know the Owl Moon Lab. Have you ever heard about it with Toby and Daryl? They had a whole bunch of stuff. They were just in the Flash of Beauty movies that just came out.
Yeah.
There's an area that Daryl lived at his house, and they found knee prints, and they casted the knee prints, and they brought the knee prints back home and into Daryl's garage. And after that, the whole crazy world just opened up. And Daryl's got
his house?
Right at the house, yeah, right inside the garage, and then in the forest, and crazy. If you guys ever get a chance to check it out, the Owl Moon Lab.
Send that to me in a message after.
Yeah, so there's a book out. There's a video book out. You could buy the book, and then it's got little scanners in it, and then you put the barcode on your phone, and then it shows you little video clips of what went on, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow, that sounds. Yeah, I want to know more about that.
Yeah, they brought those knee prints home, and that's when it all started. You got a question from Central Florida. Bigfoot asks, "What's your favorite piece of research equipment?"
I guess a recorder.
Our recorder has been invaluable to us, but I do like the FLIR. I like being able to see, if possible, if there's a heat signature. Sometimes those can be deceiving and misleading, but I do like to have it just in case.
Yes.
But the recorder, that's been wonderful for us. We never ever dreamed that we'd hear gibberish, much less be able to, have it on a recorder. Yes, Diane, that's where it said, "Hey, Debbie."
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was
I think
weird.
people should start putting Geiger counters in their backpacks, to tell you the honest God truth.
How much do those cost?
But not much. You can buy one that registers. I actually had to buy a rock that had uranium in it, and then I bought the tester. It was $120, and it works fine. It picks up it picks it right out of the rock. It tells you So I think everybody should really start grabbing, because that's what I think, that white fluid that they touch things with and leaves their prints. I think that's radioactive. I really, really do, and I don't know why.
Oh, that's a little. Speaking of like radioactive and stuff, I did notice that at one point, and I don't even remember if I mentioned it to you, Barbara, or Sandy, but I think I might have mentioned it to Sandy. I can't remember, but there was like this. You know how sometimes when your ears inside will start, but it's like inside your head. It's not like you're hearing it from the outside. It's like in your ear canal. You're hearing this vibration or something. I did hear that. And I wondered, is that just my ears? Or is that, but it didn't last a long time.
Hold on.
But it was long enough for me to notice it.
I want to play something for you guys and see.
Okay.
I think we were all kind of having our ears ring that night.
Yeah, there was something going on.
You got this green screen in back of me, and I can't. All right, let's see if I can get it to you. Ready?
All over the place.
Okay.
I can't. I heard it just a little. Yeah.
Can't really pick it up with this microphone. Let me try this.
Like a vibration.
Can you hear it?
I could hear it a while ago, just a little bit, but not much. But that's kind of
the hum.
It was a deep hum vibration, like Barbara said. When she said that, I was like, that's the word. But so I don't recall ever experiencing that before.
So we picked it up doing a couple little. Maria and my wife had experiences here at the home with hummingbirds and Bigfoot, and I ran it by a couple other people, and we started putting the pieces together. And then Doug Hychek had a recording they called the Bigfoot Hum, and it was that the kids recording up in Oregon that the Bigfoot was eating peanut butter, and while I was eating the peanut butter, he was humming. And we put the recordings together, and all the decibels lined up. It's the same hum. And then I talked to Kumbo about it, and Kumbo knows about it, the shofar thing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows about the hum. And all of a sudden, we started mentioning this. Now people are coming out recordings. I've heard the hum. I've heard Pat Harrison caught the hum. She says it sounded like one of those bull roars that the Australians used to make the calls. And now in the Bigfoot areas, more people are hearing this hum.
Well, Barbara, you remember that? I'm sorry, I got excited.
Go ahead. No, I know. This is the best part about this. This is the best part. Go ahead.
You remember that bowl, Barbara? That metal bowl that we had, and you could do that. We were sitting. Was it over? It wasn't Tribulation Bay, but it seemed like we were over. We were somewhere. I could see it in my head, but somebody had brought. Oh, it was the blonde lady.
The singing bowls.
There.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but she had brought a bowl, and she was doing that, and it had that vibration to it and that hum at the same time, and it's
something.
Yeah,
it's something for everybody. If everybody has any recordings of it or have heard it or anything, discoversasquatch@gmail.com. Get a hold of us. It's a thing that we're all looking into, and I'll fill you guys in a little bit more after the show on it.
Thanks for letting us know. We'll be really listening for it now.
Well, I got so excited when you told me. I said, "Oh, so we heard this humming when we got." I'm like, "Oh my God, you heard the humming? That's great." So that's all we got. I'm sorry that Sandy didn't make it. I was looking forward to seeing her and having her on the show.
Yeah.
Guys, got any final words for people in the chat, or you want to say goodbye, or?
Well, just, share your experiences. Like, we just learned something by just a word popping out of my mouth about humming.
Yeah.
And look, I learned something new. Share what you hear. Let us see if somebody else is hearing it too.
Right.
I think some people, not all people, but I think some people are scared to share certain things because they're afraid they're going to be made fun of or be told they're making that up or it's, BS or whatever. But don't be intimidated by others, or because there are some bullies out there. We know that.
Yeah.
But forget them and just go with what you've experienced and be honest and put that out there. And you'll probably be very surprised at the responses you'll get confirming what you've experienced and maybe even some answers.
Yeah.
I have to agree. You got to get involved with the right people. Who cares about the belly achers? Who cares that you didn't do this? There's just too many people out there like that, and it's it's awful. And we work hard at this. We do. I mean, if anybody that does this seriously and you work hard at this, you travel, you buy equipment, you do this. We're not getting paid thousands of dollars a week to do this. No,
that would be so nice.
Yeah, wouldn't it? That's all our dreams. Everybody wants to make the big money so we can do this full time, but maybe someday.
I stay on all the time.
Yeah, maybe one day someone will hit the Powerball and we can all do it. Well,
that'd be awesome.
We'll all buy like 800,000 acres of land, and we'll just all live there together, and we can go research and
have a commune.
yeah, Bigfoot commune. All right, well, I'm going to put you ladies backstage. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and
our pleasure.
And I'll talk to you soon.
All
right, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, the girls are leaving us, so say goodbye. You hear them? They're saying goodbye.
They're hollering. I hear them.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sisters of the Moon. right. What a great show. It's always a pleasure having them on here. It's always great in the chat room. You guys are having a great old time. The hour goes by quick. I can't really stay at the screen too much longer than that. My eyes start to burn. You guys all know the story about my eyes. I don't want to cry the blues, but it's not a good thing. So you guys know I shared everything at the beginning of the show. So if you miss anything, go on back. What's coming up? David Blaylock's coming up. I got a great show the first year. That's always so coming up. I'm looking forward to that. It's a big book that's coming out. If you guys don't know who Bobby is, you should look forward to that. So as my friend Larry says, and you know it, Larry, get in the woods, people.
I'm trapped inside a fake reality. Better days will never come.